This is going to be quite a different video today. I've done no planning for this, and as a result there'll probably be a lot of cuts or a lot of umming and ahhing. I want to talk about the respect that I have for the carnivore influencers that are out there. People like Dr. Anthony Chaffee, Dr. Shawn Baker, Professor Bart Kay, Dr. Ken Berry, to name a few. And I've got 3 reasons that I really respect these people, and I'm going to go into a bit of detail about this in this video. But just before we get into it, do me a massive favor, guys. Please smash the like button and also subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. It really helps out the channel, and I am grateful for your support. So let's get into it. The number one reason that I respect YouTube influencers like Dr. Anthony Chaffee, Dr. Shawn Baker, and Professor Bart Kay is because they are talking about a subject where there is no money involved. And sure, for their YouTube channel, they might be able to pick up some little sponsor here or there, like they might get some deal with NordVPN or something like that. But at the end of the day, there is no money to be made when you are telling people that they can get healthy just by eating natural foods that you yourself are not selling. Think about this. If I tell you about a healthy lifestyle and I say the only way to be healthy is to eat 100% natural foods, and you don't need to take any drugs, you don't need to take any supplementation, you don't need to join my gym, you don't need to do any of those things, what's in it for me? The satisfaction of being able to help you. The satisfaction of knowing there's one more healthy person in the world. On the other hand, if I'm a YouTube influencer talking about a diet that I actively promote supplementation on, then the opportunities for me are endless. I can get sponsorship deals with supplement companies. I can make my own supplement. I can put links to my supplements in my Amazon store. Whatever it is, I can be making a lot more money. The number 2 reason I respect these YouTube influencers is that their opinions about diet, their practices with diet, and their recommendations with diet puts them at odds with the majority of their peers. And it takes a very strong person to stand up and say, you know what, I'm going to go against the conventional wisdom because I don't believe this is the right way to go. I believe the correct way to go is exactly opposite to what everyone else in this room believes. It takes a super strong person to go against the grain. Pun well and truly intended. Now, the 3rd reason that I respect YouTube influencers like Dr. Anthony Chaffee, Dr. Shawn Baker, Professor Bart Kay, Dr. Ken Berry is a little bit more involved. And this one requires an analogy. I respect them because the ideas that they promote require education. And whenever you put yourself in a situation where the idea that you want to get across requires a level of education before you can even introduce the idea, puts you in a really difficult position. Let me give you a brief analogy. When I first came to Japan, I was an English teacher teaching business people. And the company that I worked for started to come to the realization that it wasn't just English that we needed to be teaching these business people. These business people were people that were going overseas to open factories. These people were going on business trips to the US or to Europe and doing presentations and trying to convince people of things and get them to buy into new ideas. These were people that were going and negotiating multi-billion-dollar deals. And the company I worked for, as many problems as the company had, they started to understand that it was going to be more than just English that was required. They understood, because of massive cultural differences between Japan and the rest of the world, that it wasn't just English that was needed, it was communication skills training that was needed. Not only did you have to have a reasonable level of English proficiency, you needed to be able to communicate in effective ways that people actually wanted to listen to you. So to cut a long story short, the company that I worked for set up a new department, and that department was dedicated to training communication skills, focusing less on the hard skills of the actual language and more on the soft skills of getting the message across in an appropriate way. whether getting that message across was through successful win-win negotiations, successfully delivering a presentation where you get the audience to buy in, or successfully facilitating a meeting or a cross-cultural conflict situation. Now, I've just briefly talked about the importance of soft skills and communication skills there. But when you're going to visit customers and you have to educate them about why soft skills are so important, why communication skills are actually more important than having perfect English if you're going to go and negotiate with people or do presentations overseas, it was so difficult to explain this in the first place and to educate customers that actually selling it to them once they understood or had some level of understanding about it was really tough. And this is just an example of how whenever you're in a situation where you want to get an idea across but you have to educate first, it's going to be really tough. And what ended up happening with this new department is that we just had to accept that not enough people are able to be educated as quickly as we need them to be to make it a profitable business. And while that department still exists, it's morphed from what it was intended to be into a high-level business English training center. And all of this is just to say, Dr. Paul Mason, Dr. Anthony Chaffee, Dr. Shawn Baker, Professor Bart Kay, Dr. Ken Berry, all of these people, I respect them so much because they are pushing against the grain. Guys, that's it for today for this rambly video. Thank you very much for watching, especially if you watched all the way to the end. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.